How's it going, everybody? It's Saturday morning here in Hong Kong. This is One Championship News. This is the One Friday Fights 138 recap 2026 schedule up and running. And it was a great show, or so I thought. Let me know your thoughts on the show. I had Giuliano down there for me, getting all the knockouts, all the finishes, all the reaction, everything. So if you haven't seen it all, you can check out my Instagram page. And yeah, what a night it was. I thought it was a really good show. Thought there were a lot of bonuses. I lost count of how many bonuses actually. We'll go through them one by one, but a lot of good finishes, a lot of excitement. Dogs are barking. It's just what you want really from a Friday fight show, I think. Perfect way to kick off the year. I was a little bit surprised no contracts. I thought they would maybe kick off the year with a contract or two. I think they did that last year, 2025 first show. Couple of people getting the call up to one championship, but hey ho, is what it is. I mean, for me, the surprising one that didn't get it is mostly Riftine Masdor. I believe he is ready. That was a great win for him. And you could arguably give it to, I think, Petnin Mankorn as well. I really like that guy. We'll get into all that, but my logic for those is that yes, Nadaka is going to need opponents very soon. I think the only two guys signed to in atomweight other than him are Nusarin, who he's beaten for the title, and Song Chai-noi, who you imagine is next, but maybe needs a win. So once he gets through that, if he does, then he's going to need opponents. And yeah, the next two guys, I think, it's got to be Riftine Masdor and Petnin Mankorn. But anyway, how are you all doing? Let me know. I'm hearing some. I may close the door. Bear with me one sec. I learned my lesson. Learning my lesson. I didn't close the door yesterday, and then the vacuuming happened. So, and pre anticipating the vacuuming today. But yes, I'm ready to discuss the show. Let's get straight into it. There will also be some news, some fight news that dropped regarding One Fight Night 39, which is next week in Bangkok, the first fight night show of the year, first main roster show of the year, if you will. So I'll have all of that. And yes, there is some more news coming later today, which I think I will be breaking today. So we may have to discuss that one another time because I won't have time today to write it before I do the show. But yeah, let's get into it straight away. I'm just going to share my screen. So here it is, my Instagram. 48,000 followers. Yes, had a good week. Back in action. There's a bit of a lull over Christmas, of course, but now things are kicking off. If you haven't followed me on TikTok already, please do. I'm starting to gain some traction there. 150 followers. Incredible. I had about 3 followers, I think, before this week. I'm being a little bit dramatic. It was more than that, but not much more. So yeah, I'm starting to get going on there. A couple of my videos popped really randomly. Maybe I'll show you my TikTok page first. Yeah, I'm still figuring out TikTok, and I can't use it on my phone for various reasons. So I'm just doing it through different means. I'm posting on there through an app that cross posts to various things. So I think I can go in and edit the videos, but I'm just kind of going in blind with it, and I don't really know what works. But yeah, some random things did well for me. The one of these face-offs got 55,000, nearly 56,000 views. Strangely, it was Petnin Mankorn against Toyota, which was a great fight, by the way. But wouldn't have expected that face-off to pop off. I thought this Riftine one might, and it did not. But yeah, then I got randomly a nice bit of views on the first few fights. It tailed off a little bit after that. I guess I'm swimming in deep waters now on TikTok. I've got a lot of competition. I'll have to figure out what to do. If you have any tips for what I can do, let me know. I do have TikTok Studio, Creator Studio, whatever it's called. I can go in and edit things a little bit, but flying blind mostly. So I'm just throwing stuff, see what sticks. But yeah, that is my TikTok. Um, TikTok AV Mail. Will you be dancing the latest moves? I don't think so, AV Mail. I'll be pretty much just posting what I do on Instagram, Facebook, reels of knockouts, weigh-ins, face-offs, things like that. So I don't have any plans for special content. Like I said, I yeah, I don't have access to it on my phone. It's a little difficult to tailor make content because I live in Hong Kong, right? And in the Hong Kong App Store, they banned TikTok because various reasons. So there's no TikTok here. I have to use a VPN and I have a bunch of workarounds to actually use it. So I'm not going to be making some dance videos and things like that. I've never used it either, so I don't really know what people do on there. I've seen things, every now and then they cross into my realm, but yeah, not a TikTok guy. But if you the sole purpose for this is twofold. If you like TikTok, then you can see my content on there. And if you like my content, that's perfect, right? And for me, it's to try to build a following on there because that's where a lot of people are. And maybe I can make some money out of it, some revenue. I'm trying to up my revenue. Got the Facebook going now and a bit of YouTube, but it's difficult out here for the creators. So yes, we'll see if I can make my fortune on TikTok. But just shout out one of my members. How are you doing? So says finally I can watch one live. Yeah, sorry, I've done a bunch of shows this week, but they were all around this time. But yeah, maybe you were busy because of you don't. He has a family, yeah. So I understand. I know the evening times are often better for Chester and other people on the other side of the world when I do the evenings here because it's mornings for them and maybe they're at work and they can watch or listen. So I hear you, and I'll try to maybe throw in some evening ones still. These morning things work for me a little bit better at the moment because I can get it out of the way and get on with my day, and then I'm free. I like to be free in the evenings to just hang with the family and like you guys probably so, and also get a bit tired after a whole day of other stuff, and then when you try to jump on to do a live show, it's pretty crazy. Don't have the energy. That's why I tended to just not be quite consistent with them, but I think I can be consistent with them in this morning slot. Hand Toys 18 says, "What do you think about Red Ho?" Well, yeah, let's get into it. I will bring up my Insta page like it had before. Sorry, before this TikTok diversion. So there we go. Sounds like the people want to start on that fight. Riftin Mastor and Mohammed Redho. And why not? It was a good fight. It was billed as the Battle of Malaysia against Indonesia. And there was a lot of social traction online. I got a lot of buzz for the face-off video. This one, some good numbers on that. 35,000 likes, I think. It got collabed with by Rifteen and Redho, or maybe Rifteen's removed himself now. But it was nice of him to give me the rub before it blew up. It was a I didn't really know the backstory. It seems a lot of people were fired up about it. I don't know. From I read in the comments, I don't speak the languages, but I got the sense that Redho had said some stuff somewhere, and that infuriated the Malaysians, and they were all gleefully reminding him in the comments, not just of the knockout video, but of this face-off. So that's the fight game, But it was a nice finish for Rifteen Mastor. Let's play it back. I've got this video from Giuliano. Spinning back fist drops him in the first round. And I was surprised the fight continued. He looked so out of it there. Ref let it go on, but it was just a matter of time. Rifteen swarmed in, barrage in the corner. I think it was like a little head kick, face plant. Yeah, ref took his time again. started the count, but saw that Red Ho could not get up. And yeah, it was an impressive one. I thought they could have stopped it earlier. It looked like he wanted to let it go on again, but I thought Red Ho was out after the first knockdown. You can see there. Look, he's when you drop back down there, that for me is over. And then he gets back up. He's wobbly. The ref would have been well within his rights to call that off there. So he's just taking a little bit extra damage here. I'm not trying to have a go at the ref, but yeah, I think it was unnecessary punishment for poor old Rocky Redho to sustain. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of that one. Anonymous one says it's one-sided. The Malaysians work themselves up for no reason. Indonesia doesn't have any credible martial artists. 15 was guaranteed to win here. So it's a one-sided rivalry. Well, yeah, I'd say the Malaysians are certainly ahead of Indonesia. They're both, I think, developing nations when it comes to combat sports. I would say Malaysia's ahead of Indonesia, and especially now the Muay Thai is starting to take off in Malaysia. MMA didn't really work out for them with in one championship. You know, Jihin is probably the best one still going, but yeah, I think Aguilan has been released, and there were a few others, Muhammad Aiman, and it just didn't really go where they maybe wanted it to go. Malaysia used to be a key market for one, not so much after pandemic, but I think it's coming back now. And what works for them, yeah, Muay Thai is probably a little bit easier for them to find success in because, yeah, you don't have to grapple. And there's some young stars like we see here, Rifting Mastor. You have, of course, Johan Ghazali and Alif Saw Deshapan, three really good young stars. So Malaysian Muay Thai is been put firmly on the map in the last year or two, and the fans are really getting behind it. But yeah, this was a great finish for Rifteen. He's an exciting fighter. I was very, very shocked that he didn't get the contract. I thought, as I said at the top of the show, I thought, yeah, we're going to start 2026 with a bang. We're going to have a contract or two. And I thought Rifteen really deserved it. If you're going to go by finish and also like potential impact he can have, I think maybe they just want to spin him out a little bit longer on Friday fights and get him a few more uh, big fights on there because I guess it's numbers for them and ratings and things like that. But I think eventually Rifteen's going to have to come up, and he will probably one day challenge Naraka or whoever has the belt then, probably Naraka. So why not do it now? But yeah, if they want to carry on with him on Fridays, that's fine by me. But I think yeah, he's ready, and if you lose JoJo on a fight night, and you want someone with kind of equally big impact on social media, things like that. This guy can do it. He's got phenomenal numbers, very popular, close friends with JoJo. They grew up together. I really like him. Yeah, he's an interesting guy, but he doesn't have the charisma maybe of JoJo. But he's not like he's boring or anything. I think he's quite fun backstage in interviews. I say charisma. JoJo's charisma is sort of arrogance. A lot of it, some people would say, but I enjoy that. He's very confident in himself. But yes, can Red Ho fight again in one Lumpini? Well, I'm sure he can. Yeah, it's usually one fight deals. I think this is his second fight. He's lost two, so they may not bring him back. But I don't know. Stranger things have happened. Talking of Stranger Things, I still haven't seen series 5, so trying to find some time to get to it. Very busy. Things are very busy right now. Back again with one championship kicking off 2026. But yes, confirms my theory. Contracts happening slower, says AV Mail. Yeah, I think you raised that in the show, one of the shows this week. I think it's not a negative. I think what my answer was before, yeah, it still holds water. It's like they want to keep hold of some stars for Fridays because they still need numbers and ratings and things like that, socials. So if you just keep giving everyone straight to one championship, then they're not going to have interesting shows themselves, and they've got to hit their targets. They got to make their product exciting. But anyway, Keith Larimore in the house. What's up, Keith? One of my members, and I'll hopefully see Keith next week in Bangkok. Keith came out here to Hong Kong actually. When was it? Last month, December. The role reversal. Normally, I'm always going to him in Bangkok. He came out here to Hong Kong. We had a bit of fun. It was good to see him. But yes, good to have Keith here. Let me know your thoughts, guys, on Rifteen, whether you think he's ready for the big show, as they say, as they call it. Not the big show, WWE. Remember him? But yes, here's the next fight. I will continue this theme of atomweights deserving contracts with Petnin Munkorn, who I really like this guy. He's one of my boys. I don't think he gets much attention or this and that. I don't think he has a huge following, especially on Instagram. But he's really, really, really talented, I think. And that was a really nice finish. I think he's beaten Rifteen, yeah. He beat him by majority decision. Yeah, he's won 6 fights on Friday Fights. So you definitely could have given him a contract yesterday, I think. 4 knockouts, 2 decisions. And that was a really good knockout last night. It was a really good fight. I thought he'd get it. I thought he'd get the contract because, yeah, like I say, Nadek is going to need guys soon. And this guy, he's very talented. I just think he doesn't have the aura or the social buzz about him. But he's got the talent. Yeah, Mitch was dropping the contract there. It's 350,000 baht. Look at this. Dropped him, face plant. Love it. Okay, stayed cool, calm, composed. Came in for the kill. Ref checks on Toyota. Wonderful name, Toyota, and knows he cannot continue. It was really good. Really good. I love this guy. And I think, yeah, he's flying under the radar a little bit. I think he's very, very talented. He could easily go up already. I don't know why. But yeah, they're going to keep him around. I don't know how it works, but yeah, like I said, he's just not got that buzz about him, which maybe he can work on the other side of things. And I've talked to him a little bit on Instagram DM. I'm presuming it's him, and maybe not his handlers or anything, but he seems to speak English, and we chat on there. I don't know if he's using ChatGPT to translate or some other app, but yeah, we have a little bit of back and forth there this week and over the holidays. I think he likes me because I actually interviewed him. I think I was the only person to interview him after he beat Rifteen. Like everyone else was hoping Rifteen won, obviously, because he's the big social star. But yeah, sometimes respect builds that way with fighters. So I like him. I think he's a future contracted star, whatever you want to call them. Contract winner. Maybe you can. I don't know how this works. Can you change your name? Is that a no-no in Thailand? Is that forbidden? Is it taboo? I just think Petnin Munkorn is not a very catchy name. If you could maybe tweak that a little bit, get something a bit jazzier, a bit catchier. It doesn't roll off the tongue, Can he tweak the name a little bit? Korn. That would be weird. Great band, remember that? I used to have that album, Follow the Leader. Korn. I had all their albums actually as a disgruntled 11-year-old who was raging against the world. Yes, change his name. It's Korn. Yeah. Oh, apparently. Yeah, I think Anonymous is suggesting Korn. That would be better than Petnin Korn or something. Something a little bit more unique and memorable, less long. 4 syllables is tough. Yeah, you want to have something a bit catchy. Ty's changed name like socks, says Keith. Well, then I'll suggest it to him. But new metal for life. Just we got some Korn fans in the chat. Yeah, I'll petition Petnin Munkorn to change his name to Korn. Maybe his walkout theme can be Follow the Leader or something. Or was that the album name or a song? What was that song off that everyone loved? Oh my god. Freak on a Leash. Yes, yes. Great song. That was a cool album. It had the cool artwork with the like the kid walking. Sounds a bit dark actually, walking off a cliff, but yeah, it was a strange time back then. New metal was big. Yes, when I was at school, when I was 11, 12, 13, that was all the rage. Corn, Limp Bizkit, things like that. I'm from Indonesia, says Hand Toys. I hope Red Ho can still play in one. I'm sure they will, Hand Toys. I'm sure you'll see Red Ho again. Indonesia, despite not having many great fighters, seemingly they do have a lot of fans still, and that's why one used to go there and do events. They have passionate fans, so I'm sure one will keep pushing Indonesian fighters. Don't you worry. Corn Herb Vertex. I'm not sure about that one, AV Mail. Freak on a Leash, yes. Scientize other names according to Wikipedia, says Keith. Oh, wow, he's reeling off a whole load of them here. Sanchai Saw, Kingstar, Sanchai PK, Sanchai Muay Thai Gym, Sanchai Sinbin Muay Thai, Sanchai. Oh my god, so many. Ugh. Anonymous says, I have a hard time, I think, remembering or holding interest in all the TIE fighters with long names. I like the short, memey names like Toyota, Facebook, Putin, Brazil, Ferrari. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Anonymous one, bang on the money. I think they mentioned, and I forgot this dude existed, but they mentioned on the broadcast last night, Bin Laden. There's a TIE fighter called Bin Laden or something. Wow. Yeah. But yes, I'm with you there. I'm with you there. The Mimi ones, Pet Garfield. Yeah, even Pet Garfield, who we'll get to in a bit. That one is a bit more memorable. I don't know. You might have to be a bit older like me, but so I just flash in my chest for everyone. I'll do my buttons up. It's a nice day here though. It's very sunny. I just went for a walk with the dogs, so had the button down. Yes, Pet Garfield, more memorable. Yeah, you need something, especially when you throw in the gym names after. Like if you have a really long first name and then a long gym name, it's just difficult for you to break out in the Western space, I think. So Corn, let's get Pet Ninman Corn to shorten that name, and he can be a star, I think. And think of all the memes, the Corn memes. Yeah, definitely something there in it. All right, what is next? Well, yeah, the big controversy. I just mentioned Pet Garfield. Maybe we can talk about that one. A lot of people were complaining on my replies and my comments about Pet Garfield and Logan Chan. Now let's get into that one. Shout out Logan Chan as well, Hong Kong, Hong Kong boy. Lives in Scotland but has a Hong Kong father, I think. So we obviously bonded a little bit over that. I live in Hong Kong, so yeah, I thought it was a good fight. It was a tougher fight for him than his first two. Pet Garfield is no joke. I think he's with Jit McNaughton gym, and he's been away for a while, like 2 years or something. So I think I saw his last fight. Actually, I was there at Lumpini for Sona Sen. I think crushed him. Is that right? I'm just gonna do my research so I'm not lying. But Pet Garfield, yes, he lost to Sona Sen first round TKO, December 6th, 2024. So it wasn't 2 years ago. It was about a year and a little bit ago. I didn't think it was that long. But yes, he's not won in a while. His last win was October 2023. So he's had a couple of losses since then. But he's back in the win column now and has an overall winning record now, 3-2. But yes, a little bit controversial. A lot of people in my comments, you can see, thought that Logan Chan won, did enough. I know that Logan was busted open pretty bad above his left eye, I think, early on in the fight. I think in the first round. That maybe played a part because it was a split decision. You never know what happens when it goes split decision. But maybe the visible damage swung it for a couple of the judges. I don't know. I don't know who was judging last night. I will have to try and check if I care that much. I think you can see one of them behind there, but I can't see the face. It's hidden by the rope. So yeah, I'm not sure who was judging, but the fans weren't happy. Logan won. Bad decision by the judges, said Brandon Seay on my Instagram here. I'm just looking at my Instagram comments, not the chat here. Mateo Ortiz said it was a robbery. Dissection of Violence said the worst robbery in history in all caps with 4 exclamation points. Very passionate about that statement there. Rob Inks 501 YNX says absolute robbery. Another person here with a weird name says bad robbery. McGill says robbery. A lot of robbery shouts here. Cap God XZ says that might be the worst robbery I've ever seen. One championship is a joke. If you're a tie and it goes to decision, you'll get the win, even if you get beat up for 3 rounds. So, not happy. People not happy. What do you think? I didn't think it was like that obvious. Maybe I'm wrong. I do think maybe, yeah, Logan did enough to win. Was I being naive? Was it a clear win for him? Anonymous one says, when Pet Garfield came in wearing the mask, I thought it was an actual Garfield mask for a second. He should do that. He should lean into it. But I don't know. What do you think about the fight? Yeah. AV Mail says it was close. I thought it was close. Yeah. I think there's a tendency to kind of lean too hard into this robbery stuff sometimes when it's not a robbery, but I don't know. There have been a few times in Friday Fights history where the judges have quite clearly got it wrong. And Chatri usually makes his voice known or heard about that very quickly afterwards and usually books a rematch or says we're going to do a rematch or he'll say it on Facebook Live or something. There used to be a day he would text me about it, but yeah, he prefers to just say it on Facebook Live now. So I've got to watch out. I don't speak Thai, so I got to get it translated by someone. But he will. We'll see if he weighs in on this one. I don't know. But yeah, that was a big controversy last night, and I think it snapped. I heard Mitch say it. I think it might have been Brian McGrath, but 25 fight win streak for Logan Chan snapped, which is pretty impressive. 25 wins in a row. But yeah, look, Logan Chan is so young, so talented. He's gonna be back. Definite future star for one championship. He's one of those great fighters for them. He's got some European in him and some Asian in him. So he's like 2 great markets, Scotland and Hong Kong. I think they love fighters like that because it's perfect for their marketing, their product, their audience. So I think Logan Chan will be a future star, future contract winner in one championship. Don't worry, guys. Just gonna have to wait a little bit longer. But I don't think he would have got a contract even if he'd knocked out Pet Garfield here in spectacular fashion. So just keep waiting, guys. It's all part of the process again. You may, sorry, there's a fly in here. I'm always trying to get rid of. I'm making some slight progress on the background. What do you think? Posters still need to go up, but we're getting there. We're getting there. I think by next week I should have a fully blown studio here ready to rock, just in time for me to leave, go to Bangkok, and not use it. Right. What else happened last night of note? Well, I'm going to look at the main event was a death show, unanimous decision over Pompet. It wasn't the greatest fight, but is what it is. It was okay. It's a standard Friday fights main event. Always intriguing battles. I haven't got much to say about it. Yeah, it was. It is what it was. Oh, I didn't even put it on stage. There you go. Sorry. So we only had the decision basically, no other footage. But I'll be honest. By the time this fight came on, it was gone midnight, and I was so tired. I was ready for this event to end. This was the 14th fight. I was ready for bed, and I promised you guys I'd do a recap. I'm doing it now. I said I'd do it last night. I was just no way. I'm doing it. I'm going to bed, and I had to get some sleep. But we'll see. I don't mind a Saturday morning recap. It doesn't seem to be like too urgent to do it immediately, but maybe some people want that. We'll see. If I'm not tired, I might do it. But yes, I thought Silva looked very good and promising. Yeah, we'll get into that. I liked him. D Whoa 4345 says, "What do you think about when knockdown rules can change the outcome of a fight, even when it's just a very small one and otherwise one-sided fight?" Yeah, I don't. I'm not a huge fan of the whole knockdown automatically is a 10-8 because it can be a flash knockdown. It can be. Uh, we've seen it a few times where it's a very close fight, but one fighter will get it because of the knockdown, whereas they maybe lost another round or two. I think prime example is maybe Jackie and Stella, first fight. Stella got 2 knockdowns in the first round, so I think it may have been a 10-7, but it was definitely 10-8 on all the cards at least. And then Jackie actually won 3 more rounds and maybe lost 1 on a couple cards, which swung the fight. So you're in a tough position. They had 5 rounds. It's a title fight, but you're in a very tough position if you get knocked down to come back. And you could clearly win the next 2 rounds easily, but it still doesn't matter sometimes. So I do think they could maybe tweak that a little bit. I don't know how is best to do it. There is a case of if the rest of the fight outweighs the knockdown, they'll give it to that other fight. But you just don't see it very often. I think Shane Bird has done it a couple times. I love Shane. Shout out! I think he's the best judge they have, but I don't think he was there last night. He may have been. I'm not sure. But yes, he normally gets it right, and there's been a couple times he's gone against the knockdown winner, so to speak. I think when Ellis Barboza beat Alif, it was a split, and Shane was the split, and he had argued that Alif had done enough to kind of fight back from that knockdown to earn the win, and that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying Ellis lost that fight, but in particular, but maybe a little bit more of that could be applied. Sorry. Here we go. We'll crack on. The SDWOH says someone can be way more hurt but not go down than someone just being stunned and half balance going down. That's another thing. Yeah, you could be just like someone on the feet, but they draw. But you could just catch someone off balance a little bit, kind of like was it last night? I think Chart Payak, got caught by Ayad Albado with the spinning back elbow. So yeah, Keith pointed that out too. I think Chart Payak fight's a good example about the knockdown. I think let's look at that one next. Yeah, that is the point. That's a good point. So I think that was the co-main. Yeah, here it is. Ayad Albado with a spinning back elbow. It was lovely, but yeah, Chart Payak was straight back up. But that was all she wrote, really. Unanimous decision for Ayad Albado. Whereas some people maybe thought Chart Payak did enough to claw it back. I don't know. Again, I was pretty tired by that point. But yeah, it seems if you get a knockdown, it's pretty much a cheat code, right? It's like, going to win this fight now as long as I don't get knocked down or knocked out. I think they could tighten that up a little bit somehow. But yes, what can you do? DWOH would love to see the scorecards be public post-fight. It's not even read out. Yeah, I don't know if I can get hold of the scorecards. There are times I have been able to. Obviously, I can get them for fight nights and numbered events, but they don't tend to release them for Friday fights. But I can ask, certainly. Yeah, public scoring, open scoring, whatever it's called, would be interesting as well. I don't think one has. There's never really been any chat about that in one. It seems to be more common in MMA, UFC, things like that. Chart was definitely winning that fight, but the decision was by the book as it stands, says Keith. Yeah, there you go. So people not happy, I guess. What do you think? Yeah, there's one knockdown. not a bad knockdown by any means. Does it look like it was a great move, great technique by Ayad Albada, but don't think Chatpayak was seeing stars or anything. It seemed like he was caught off guard by it, and that was a great knockdown. I'm not taking it away from Albada, but yeah, does does that warrant him winning the fight? By the rules, it does. By the book, as Keith says. So yeah, that was a little bit of a controversial one as well. But yeah, still an entertaining fight. What else did we have last night? I think I've done all these. Oh, the turtle shells. Yes, this fight was insane. Go Tao and Tong Lampoon. Oh my god. Yeah, this was good. You could see it, and I love the turtle shells. Yes, so 350,000 baht bonus for Kotal. Tong Lang Poon had been on a nice little run. I think 6 or 7 wins in a row, so very much deserved bonus for Kotal. There was another fight though that was even more insane, much more insane. I think it's this one. Yes, they both got bonuses. Tahanek and Kunpon. Oh my god, it was I think 2 knockdowns each going into the third round or something. And yeah, it could have gone either way, really could. And I said, here, what a fight, what a KO, but also what a catch by Ricky Sewell. Look at this. The way he got down, that is textbook. That is textbook. Referee head catch. Catching Kunpon before his head hit the canvas. Great dive by Ricky. But in all seriousness, yeah, it's hard to argue, as I said, with both men getting the bonus. Great moments, things like these. And, seeing Kunpon crying when he got the bonus, you can't really see it in this angle, but you could see on the broadcast with the camera in his face how emotional he was. It's just great TV. It's great stuff. 10,000 USD for these guys means a lot, I'm sure. And Kotal in the previous fight, they were saying, the last bonus he got was he started building a house, and this bonus he could finish building his house. So life changing in every way. That's part of this thing. It's part of Friday Fights. That's why I think the Thai people love One Championship, love Chatri, and why the product has done so well. It has a lot of naysayers in traditional Muay Thai circles and fans, but definitely the money that's coming into Muay Thai from One Championship. Say what you want about the gloves and this or that, but yeah, life changing, changing the lives of a lot of these fighters, which is what I think is all about. Sometimes, give them better paydays and opportunities. They're putting their lives on the line, and a lot of these guys, it was sad seeing so many tales. I think before one came into Thailand, you see all these horror stories of guys who have, had 400 fights, whatever, maybe 200 fights. They're broke, selling stuff in the market. Even Sexan was yeah, trying to get by during the pandemic, doing that, and that's crazy. But yeah, one has really given Sexan a good life as well. On that note, actually, I'm reading a book by my friend here, Johan Nylander. I don't know if I can. It's a sneak peek, but yeah, he's writing a book about a Muay Thai fighter who lives in Hong Kong. I've got a advanced chapter here. I'm gonna give him some notes. I don't think he needs any notes though, but he just wanted me to, someone who with fight knowledge, to look over it because he's like a financial journalist. But yeah, there's a Muay Thai fighter out in Hong Kong called Duke Ekapol who runs a gym here on one of the islands called Lama, and he's got a crazy story. But anyway, that's another day, another time. This fight, I loved it. Yeah, I thought it was easily fight of the night. Glad Chachi gave both guys the bonus. Uzkion says, is Nabati unsuspended already? I think he had a 12-month ban, so it will be pretty soon. Yeah. When did he fight Ferrari Fairtex? Good question. I think it was around this time, February, January 31st. Yeah. So, yeah, I guess he's a free man in a couple weeks. Yeah. Let's see if they book him. Let's see. to see if it'd be interesting, yeah, to see if there's any kind of long term blowback from that, whether they just don't give him fights or they give him tough fights or they release him or something or they see him as a star. I don't know. It seems like he had a lot of fans, and I like him personally. Yeah, yeah, but he did fail for multiple banned substances, and he'd also tested positive on IFMA, I think. That there's yeah, you just Google his name on or whatever or search it. Yeah, I'm not gonna say too much about it, but he got a history of a couple of missed, failed tests, and we'll see. Yeah, we'll see if one wants to push him going forward. We see whether he can compete at the same level, presumably not taking these banned substances. He obviously argued that it was for medical use. I think you can read my interview with him on Bangkok Post. But yeah, I don't know what's going on. I like Nabati personally. I think he's a fun fighter. Obviously, he got a lot of power in those hands. Let's see what happens with him. Yeah, I don't know who you'd match him up with. It's bantamweight. He was going to fight Nabil. It's funny how different these paths diverge, right? He was going to face Nabil at 170 in Impact Arena January last year, uh, whenever that was, January 24th or something like that. Like I think a week before, so he fought a week later, right? They found him that Ferrari fight to appease him, but because they just took him out of that fight with Nabil when Superlek went down injured and was out of the Carrillo fight. They put Nabil against Nico, obviously. Nabati was the big loser because Nabil went on to become interim champ. Then he beat Superlek, became the champion eventually. Now look at him, he's flying, right? Nabati out of that fight, knocked out Ferrari Fairtex, but yeah, he popped for drugs and then yeah, the sliding doors moment, you know what I mean? But anyway, Nabati should return to an immediate title shot. Anonymous one says, yeah, why not? You could just run him and Nabil. I mean, Haggerty's out still for a while. Sure, Nabil would take that fight. But I think Nabati is respectful towards Nabil because of the Venom connection. I know Nabati was training at Phuket Fight Club, but he's very, very, very close to some of the Dagestani dudes, the Russians at Venom, like uh, Asadullah, and they're both fighting next week. Yeah, Darkayev, Abdullah Darkayev. So we'll see. Yeah, I'm sure he wouldn't be disrespectful calling out Nabil, trash talking, but you know, if I'm one championship and I need a title fight to headline my show next week, maybe it's a little too early. It's like a week too early before Nabati comes back. Yeah, timing hasn't worked out there, but you know, if he was already cleared to come back, you could do way worse than have like booked that fight, Nabil versus Nabati, because I think Nabil wouldn't be stressed, and I don't think Nabati's going to be bold enough to be using anything he shouldn't be using straight away because he knows he's going to get tested, right? Definitely. So that could be a fun. That's like WWE style booking, you know, straight off your drugs ban, come back, title shot. I think that would be a great fight, and I think Nabil would be confident, and it tides Nabil over until Haggerty's ready. But yeah, it's not going to happen, obviously, right now. Ubaid Hussein, probably similar tier to someone like Shimon Yoshinari, says DWH, as well as Iman Zaliev and Ortikov. I think many of the elite Friday fights guys beat the ranked guys once they get contracts easy. Yeah, that might be another part. Good point why the guys aren't getting snapped up immediately on contracts because they'll want them to just come in and beat everyone on the main roster. But yeah, we can talk about Ubaid Hussein. I thought he was excellent as well last night. Close to getting a finish with that knockdown in the first round. Let me put it on screen. Sorry for you guys. But yeah, it was an excellent performance from him. Brazil's a tough son of a gun, and he did very well there. So his rise continues. I think he is definitely a future star, as you say, and Yeah, another one out of the United Kingdom for one championship. I don't know why they're not building up a UK event. I think it's the perfect market for one to do a show in. I don't know why they haven't. Yeah, I said it a few times, but you've got Haggerty, Nico Carrillo, Liam Harrison still boxing. I think he wants to box in one of the opportunities there, despite retiring from Muay Thai kickboxing. You got however many UK guys and girls. It's just a real pipeline of talent you can use. You could, I think, easily sell out a show, an arena show. You could do a O2 Arena. I think people would travel to it from all over the country and down from Scotland, and yeah, or you could host it in Manchester, meet in the middle, have yeah, people would come up from London, I think, come down from the north or Scotland. I think it would do very well. But they don't seem to wanna do it. I think the word I got when I asked about it was, it's not in our time zone, you know? We have America time zone and we have Asia time zone, but Europe's kind of in the middle, so we don't push it. But then it's like, well, you're doing Qatar, you know, which is more of a European time zone, and obviously Qatar is very wealthy and it's probably not as expensive for them to run, but I just it baffles me, yeah, why you wouldn't do maybe you can take Friday fights on the road, do a smaller scale show, find a 4,000 seat venue like the Copper Box or whatever the thing by the Olympics was, you know. There's many venues they could do in London, I know, and I'm sure many other cities. But yes, he he is a future star for one from the UK. Ubaid Hussein, bad as they call him, not because he's a bad fighter, he's a bad man. Yeah, he's actually a very lovely man. I was chatting to him on DM a little bit last night, and I said it was funny because I got a like. He collabed with me on his video, yeah, but I got a like on it from Dominic Mateo. I was like, oh my god, I remember that guy. This was a football star from the 90s, you know, in the 2000s for Leeds. I remember. I think Hussein is from Leeds, so maybe they know each other. I don't know if Don Matteo does Muay Thai or something, or there's a connection there. But yeah, it was just funny. It's so surreal to see things like that. You know, I used to watch this guy on TV. He's like a superstar, you know, and yeah, he is liking a video I've put on my account. It's crazy, and yeah, love it, love it, love it. But yeah, I love this guy. He's awesome, and he'll be winning a contract soon for sure. I think that is the he's got 5 wins now. It's crazy. I remember when he debuted. It was yeah, not too long ago, about just over a year. So he's got more wins than I even realized. So 5 fights, 5 wins. Only one knockout though. I guess he maybe can work on that side of things because you know how Chatri is. He doesn't give out contracts for decisions. You have to show that killer instinct. Yeah, but he's fighting tough guys. Let's not mince it. You know, Brazil is a he's a very popular guy, but also a tough guy. He's had a decent record. It's a little bit mixed, but also he's fought one of those twins, wasn't it? The Salamov twins. Hussein Salamov beat him by decision, and Petnaki and a couple of wins over them, hard fought decisions. So future is very bright. I think he's only 20 years old. Yeah, no rush for him. I'm sure he'll be getting some seasoning and some fine tuning for another year or two at least before he would even be considered for a contract. But I think he could come in and make an instant impact. Look at the comments here. Ellis Barboza's loving it. George Jarvis says kid's a beast. Yeah. He's obviously got a big reputation among the English scene. There you go. All right. What do you guys think of him? Uzkion one says yes, especially with how many people in UK or how much people in UK love sports and such. Yeah, it could be a good market for them for sure. The other fighters on this card we can mention briefly. I won't do everything because it's not all too newsworthy or noteworthy. Let's just have a little gander. Sorry, I removed it from the screen. I shouldn't have. Back on screen. Okay. Yes. Um, we did rifting, didn't we? The MMA, I thought, yeah, Lucas Guinin did very well to come back from the first round. He was just getting taken down at will, but he to fight to a split decision, impressive. I like Lucas Guinin. I think he's very entertaining and charismatic. He's got that sort of he's from Argentina. He's sort of an Argentinian Malakian vibe for me. The size of him, he always is kind of shorter than his opponents, but he's got those like overhands as his main weapon, but he's got huge power in his hands, and he's a character. I think he's a future contracted star on one's MMA, and I think he may not do it the natural way where you kind of get it in the ring, and I think he may get called up when they need a short notice opponent. Tends to happen more on the MMA side with one here. And I'm sure, yeah, if an opportunity arises, he may get a call up just to fill in on a fight night card, like Lucas Gabriel, who, yeah, I think he had one or two fights on Friday fights, then he got a call up to fight night. Now he's back next week, so definitely could happen. But also, Ilias Ezeiu, I hope I pronounced it right, did what he had to do. He could also be fighting on the main roster soon. There was a lot of kickboxing, as we said, 14 fights overall. 4 of them were kickboxing. A lot of Japanese fighters were involved, of course, and didn't go all their way. Did in this one. Shoma Okamura beat Sheng Yi Hang by unanimous decision. This one was good. Shota lost to Cho Kyung-jae of South Korea in the first round, and Cho got a 350,000 baht bonus. I think it was 3 knockdowns. Great work from Cho, who I like this guy. And I give him a shout out because he was a very good sport on the night of the face-offs. For context, I was putting out 14 videos, right? So Giuliano films them, edits them, sends them over to me. I post them. I'm crashing them out on my computer here, and I'm having technical difficulties after technical difficulties because I'm using this new social media thing that cross posts to all my platforms. I'm trying to just post one thing and it goes to all my stuff instead of before I'm posting each video like on 3 or 4 different platforms. Very, very time consuming when you have 12 videos, 12 fights, you know what I mean? So I'm using this new thing. There were some teething issues, and things were just dragging on all day. And also, it was compressing some of the videos, so I had to like play around with the settings because they looked a little shit on some of them. But and then Giuliano had some technical difficulties on his side too. So it's just a long day. And then it got to me putting up this guy's one. I think it was like the bout number 3. So it was the 3rd from last video I uploaded. I was going in reverse order. And I had started putting his one up, and then I put his video in, and I had to send it back to Giuliano and say, "Oh, can you just edit this slightly? It needs the music added on or whatever." And so then I kind of deleted what I was doing. I started writing another one, and then just had a bit of a brain fart when I finally put up his one. I forgot to put the South Korea flag back in the caption. It was just the Japanese flag. So of course he collabed with it, but then all his fans were getting pissed off because I had him down as Japanese. Obviously, I know he's South Korean, but I just was tired. So he messaged. He was very nice. Oh, could you change the flag to South Korea? Of course. I'm very sorry. And he said it's okay. The Koreans, we are very forgiving. And we had a bit of banter back and forth. And shout out to Cho Kyung-jae for being a good sport about it. It happens. I've done it before. I'm not a massive racist. Sorry, I labeled. I forgot his name, Josh something. He's Australian. I put him down as American. So I'm equally discriminatory to white people as Asians. Yeah, don't worry, guys. But no, in all seriousness, it happens. I even got the wrong fighter in the first fight. Because they obviously released the card, and then I tend to just go in blind with a lot of these fighters. I don't know who half of them are at least. So I'm just following what they say on the thing, and then I put up this guy's name, and then I posted. I'm like, hang on, he looks nothing like the guy on the poster. And I quickly check with won. I'm like, did you guys get a new fighter for this fight? It was DS Ottogen replaced Shaya Ebadi from New Zealand. Very different looking gentleman. So I very quickly edited it, and I'm hoping Arshia did not get offended that I labeled him as a Kazakhstani man. But yeah, it happens. I'm fallible. I make mistakes too. I try. I felt really bad about it, honestly, for a couple hours that night, and uh, it's hard not to. I hold myself to high standards, and I beat myself up whenever I make mistakes. But I'm getting better at just accepting sometimes these things happen, and don't be too harsh on yourself. But yeah, I still feel bad. Anyway, that's a long tangent, yeah, but great performance from Cho. Really like that. He's an exciting one to watch. What else was there? Yeah, we mentioned Diogo Miguel Silva beating Kazuteru Yamazaki by unanimous decision. He looked good, yes. I think he could be a future player here. Just nice to see more kickboxing on these cards for one Friday fights. Yeah, I think they need to start fleshing out the kickboxing ranks again, the divisions, especially strawweight, and any division. I love the kickboxing in one, and I know they had that kind of initial surge in 2021. They were signing all these featherweights, especially the best in the world, on big money. They kind of filtered a few of them out now, but they're starting to get more guys in from Japan and elsewhere. And yeah, it's starting to look like a healthy system again. This was the one I'm talking about, DS Ottogen, who was a short notice replacement against Ahmed Ramadanov. He took a unanimous decision. Congrats to him. So, yes. And the other fight, Anwar Cisneros TKO'd Shun Shiraishi. I think that was the first fight. Kickboxing, yes. So a mixed night for Japan on the kickboxing, but fair play to Anwar Cisneros. I think that was it. That's me and Kurt Angle, so sorry. Yeah, I was just doing the 2016 thing everyone seems to be doing. I'm not sure I did it the right way. Maybe I needed to do more. But that was the first picture I saw on my phone when I pressed 2016. I was a bit less active on taking pictures of myself. I think we all were back 10 years ago, but that was like January 2016. It's a really cool story, actually. I got to meet Kurt Angle. Obviously, I'm a big WWE fan from childhood, and he was there with TNA at Wembley Arena, and I was working at ESPN at the time, and I don't know how the opportunity came up, but I kind of been speaking to. I was doing wrestling stuff for ESPN, yeah, covering WWE, but also yeah, just anything that came up, and I was keeping my ears to the ground on UK because there were a lot of big names, independent names were coming to the UK and London for indie shows. I interviewed Will Ospreay, who's now a huge star with AEW, and he was before that NJPW. But he was with TNA around then, and I saw him compete or perform, shall we say, in Camden. A few others were on that show. It was a Progress Wrestling show. I saw him with Pete Dunne and a few others. Yeah, I can't remember now. But I was hanging out with Simon Head. Shout out to Simon Head at that point. Simon is a MMA combat sports writer. You may know if you follow the UFC. He's more prominent in that realm, but I think he writes for UFC's website, UFC.com. Shout out Simon Head. Yeah, we went to see that show, Progress. This was 2016, I think, sometime. But I can't remember how this TNA thing came about. But my old mate Simon Rothschild, or Simon Rothstein, sorry, I think Rothstein, yeah. He was working for TNA at the time. Yeah, he used to be the like wrestling guy for the Sun, the newspaper, the Sun in the UK. And I don't know how we crossed paths. I think I did a week of work experience at the Sun newspaper. I can't remember I talked to him then, but I saw him around the office. But anyway, all these years later, yeah, he hooked us up with Kurt, and I did an interview for ESPN on Kurt. A really good one, actually. It was one of my favorite things I've ever written. Was 20 years on from when Kurt Angle, or 10 years on. No, 20, you're right. Yeah, from when Kurt won the Olympic gold medal in wrestling for USA in Atlanta, when he with a broken freaking neck, as he said all the time. Yeah, and it was a really cool feature. It went crazy. I remember just seeing the traffic on it was mad. The BBC linked out to it on their website, and Kurt shared it on all his platforms. Yeah, great times. I miss sometimes writing about wrestling, but yeah, definitely one of my favorite interviews ever, and one of my favorite articles ever written. So if you can be bothered, Google that Kurt Angle and me on ESPN is a good one. All right, yeah, but that's the show, guys. There was a little bit of other news I'll talk about. I'll just look at your comments quickly. UK is obviously very close to Netherlands, says Keith, and I'm sure a lot of kickboxing fans over there would love to check out a one event. I'm sure they would. Why do we get full card announcements so late on Friday? Friday says, sorry, DWOH. I'd love it if we saw it after the event concludes, maybe an end of broadcast, how UFC does sometimes. And with you, they tend to release it the day after, so I'll definitely put it out tonight. So it's not too long to wait, but yeah, it'd be cool if they could put it at the end of the show, so you know what you're going to get next week. Whiskey on one saying all the rankings gone. Yes, they are supposedly, launching a revamped ranking system. I don't know anything about it, but I was on the ranking panel. I have been for 5-6 years, whatever, however long it's been going. I didn't have any part in that decision, but I don't know if I'll be on the new rankings or not. If I get to say, yeah, I'd love to be involved if I can be. It's always quite fun doing my rankings. To be honest, my rankings never really looked like the ones that were on the official website. I had different thoughts and feelings on them, but yeah, it was cool to be involved. But yeah, the other, let's just look at that rankings page quickly. So I'm a bit dehydrated. I think my throat's closing up. I won't continue too long. Need to get a water somewhere. Right, here's the rankings. Yeah, it says, fight fans, get ready. One championship will return in 2026 with 72 events and refreshed athlete rankings. Read more here. Let's read more. I don't think this one says much about the rankings. This is from Bear. Shout out to Bear. It says, in addition, the organization will refresh its athlete rankings in the new calendar year so fans across the globe can see where their favorite Muay Thai fighters, kickboxers, and mixed martial artists stand in their respective divisions. So no grappling, it seems. State, which makes sense. Not too deep, these grappling divisions, are they? Stay tuned for more information. Yeah, well, I'll bring it to you when I see it. But what did I want to do? Events, yes. They added another fight to this Fight Night 39, which I'll be at next week. So is it on the website yet? No, it is not. I guess we'll use one's Instagram page. They must have put it up. Here you go. I could just say it, but yeah, I want you to see it visually, It's a visual show. Well, if you're listening on YouTube and you're not watching, it's not. But here you go. Here's one's Instagram page. I'm sure they announced it last night. Well, they did not. Maybe I'll put it out. Yeah, I guess I should. Well, it's Mr. Siasarani versus he's probably put it on his page already, but yeah, I'll put it out. The Thailand one page posted it. So yeah, he's going to fight Pedro Dantas in kickboxing. Yes, I have the English one here. So it's featherweight kickboxing. Mohamed Siasarani against Pedro Dantas. Obviously, Siasarani won his contract in December at Friday Fights Temple. This was not the first fight I imagined he'd get. It's a bit baffling because Pedro Dantas has had one fight in one championship, and it was MMA. He's an MMA guy by all intents and purposes. I think I enjoyed him. He fought Ibrahim Dawev. It was a fun fight. He had all these cool submission attempts. 22-year-old Brazilian. By all intents and purposes, I thought is an MMA fighter, but yes, apparently he's had a little bit of a kickboxing background when he was a teenager, I think. I was unaware of that, but I don't know if I don't know if he's had a professional fight in kickboxing, and you know, you don't want to be going up against Mohamed Siasarani, one of like the most talented strikers in featherweight in one championship, if you are not a full-time kickboxer. I think it's a little bit could be a mismatch, this one. I'll be honest. And yeah, he's got a 6-1 MMA record. But yeah, I do believe he's done some kickboxing when he was younger, but amateur level. So yeah, I'm a little bit baffled on this one, I'll be honest. But you know, because for me, it also is weird because when you come up from Friday fights, it's supposed to be a step up, right? You're supposed to have tougher competition, yada yada. But I know this is difficult. But Siasarani has gone from a veritable who's who of featherweights in kickboxing and Muay Thai on Friday fights. He's gone through Shadow, Chai, Joe Nattlewood. Who else? I'm forgetting people. Let me look him up. But you know what I'm talking about. Kaito, and there's another one, another big name he's fought. Basically, everyone big. Lu Mongyang, yeah, who the only guys he's not fought is like Taiwan Jai, Super Bowl, but Mohamed Butasa as well, who came in with a big reputation. He beat him. Beat Sidichai, lost to Shadow, lost to Kunsuek, beat Lu Mongyang, beat Kaito, beat Joe Nattlewood. You go from that to an MMA fighter who's never fought professional kickboxing or something. I don't know if that's true. I can't see his record anywhere, but I thought, yeah, he's an MMA guy. I don't know. It's a little bit weird. Maybe he's like shit hot at kickboxing and it's going to be a great fight, but just a bit strange to me. But anyway, that's MMA, says DWH. Wait, it's kickboxing. That's so weird. Yeah, Pedro Dantas fought Ibrahim Dawev in MMA last year on like a week's notice, and he did pretty well. He was a fun guy, but he's mostly a BJJ guy with some striking, says DWOH, and it's not too bad. But with big gloves, he's just going to get shut down by heavy kicks. Yeah, he might give a good account of himself. It's just, yeah, a little weird one for Siasarani. But maybe he feels he's earned a layup, you know. He's gone through murderer's row on Friday fights, so why not give him a little tune-up before he maybe goes after Taiwan Chai or Superbon or Noiri and maybe Lu Mongyang rematch. So that's fine. I like Siasarani, and I'm sure Dantas is just happy to get a fight, and happy for both guys to get a payday. But it's a little strange, yeah. Forgot about Kaito. Uzkion once says, any news on him going to one after Sidichai fight? No, I haven't heard anything. Yeah, he did the one fight against Siasarani. It fell through. No, he lost. Sorry. Obviously the Marat Gregorian one fell through. Maybe they'll try and book him again for 175. Who knows? We'll see. But he didn't look great against Siasarani, and a lot of people think Sidichai got robbed in that fight. So I'm not sure he beat Gregorian. No signs of Petjija versus Alicia, Alif versus Prajanchai, Malakin versus Rugrug, Tenkai, Denise, Superlek, EDC, says Anonymous. I guess it's going to be another year of Amazon Prime being only grappling belt main events. Or none at all, says Anonymous. I don't know. Man. I don't know. I think it's a little slow to get going. Most so far, yeah, this January show. I think they came hot out of the gate in 2024 5 with the Impact Arena and Qatar and Japan. Same as 2024, you had Japan show and Qatar were not too far apart. So let's just see. Maybe they're going to make a surprise announcement for something. But as it stands, yeah, it's going to be fight nights January, February, March, and then things will pick up in April. The March show, I think, as you say, has a grappling title fight so far, but I expect they'll add something to that, and it could well be your Alicia Pejija, and who knows? I think I don't know what's going on with Tenkai. Really don't. Rug and Malikan, I think, will be a numbered event. Yeah, Denise, no idea what's going on with her. I think Superlek could pop up out of nowhere for a title defense if he's going to do flyweight. You may say he's too big a name right now. Excuse me. And I think Alif versus Predenshai could well happen on a fight night. So it's not all doom and gloom. Don't worry. Okay. So yeah, that's it basically. That's all the news I had. I think I'll leave it there. Yeah. I'm gonna take a little break now and then do some writing, and then no show tomorrow unless something drastic happens. But I'll try and take a little breather from the live shows tomorrow, but I'll be back on Monday. I mentioned yesterday I'll be doing a Monday show with none other than strawweight kickboxing champion Jonathan DiBella. Will be in the house, not in my house, but in his house. We'll be doing it in each other's houses. Sounds weird. On StreamYard here online. So watch that, and we'll see what DiBella's got cooking. Thank you, Keith, as well. Thank you, everyone. Hope this made your Saturday morning or your Friday night a little more interesting if you wanted some entertainment. Yes, but now I will go enjoy the rest of Saturday. Well, actually, I won't. I've got a lot of work to do. Yeah, I gotta write some stuff. But yeah, I'll have some more breaking news, I think, today or tomorrow. So keep your eyes peeled on that. And otherwise, yeah, enjoy your weekends, guys, and catch you on Monday for DiBella. Don't know about Tuesday if there'll be a guest, but Wednesday I'll have a live stream with a few people from the fight night card, and then I'll be flying to Bangkok Thursday morning for the show itself. So stay tuned. All right, enjoy your weekend too, Chester. Shout out Chester. Shout out Keith, my members. Really appreciate them, and Anonymous. Little bit of extra help for me. It always goes a long way. Help me cover my costs. But yes, if you're thinking of helping out, the link is somewhere down there. I don't know how to do it myself. you can become a member if you want, and there's a few little perks in there for you. I need to work on those myself, actually. But yes, otherwise, just enjoy the shows. I appreciate your support either way. Yeah, thanks for asking questions. Always makes it a lot easier, a lot more fun when you get involved. But yeah, have a good one, guys. I'll catch you on Monday. All right.